So guys, before we get into today's video, I planned this to be the opening for my video where I talk about all my epic cars. There are a lot of Dodge events going on in clubs right now, and I want to do something I know I will regret, and that is buy a Dodge ceramic pack for almost 600 gold. Now, yes, I know I'm going to regret this, but you know, it's a Dodge pack. And we started with a Dodge Avenger, which is nice, but hopefully we'll get at least an Ultra, but we'll see what we get from this pack. Pontiac G6, Plymouth Duster, and yeah, I regret spending 600 gold on that. I really hope I do well in the the qualifiers for the CT-R3. I don't know, if I got something good from that pack, it would have been one of the best videos ever. I had to take the risk. But with that said, let's get into the video where I talk about my epics. So yeah. Yo guys, what is going on? Blossom is back, and today I want to do a video on covering all my epics. Now, you know, sometimes or here and there I like to pick out one car or two when I do a garage tour and talk about the significance of that car. But I feel like as my garage continues to expand and expand, I feel like I should really be just focusing on one category and just tell you what epics, you know, I think are really important, why I've maxed the epics I maxed out, and how I upgraded them as well. One of the most common questions on my Instagram, and if you want to check that out, link is in the description below. Sorry, I'm pretty tired, but the link is in the description below, Blossom Charger. So a lot of people are asking me, what are the best epics to max out and how to max them out. So I'm going to talk about how first. So as you can see here, a lot of my older epics, for example, my Audi RS6, which I've owned for 623 days, is upgraded in the 323 or the 969 format. This is the same for my Mitsubishi Lancer Evo, which I can only get one off. So that's a little mistake I did there. Basically, rule of thumb is, guys, you want to upgrade most of your epics in 699 instead of 969. I say most epics. I would say that this rule only really applies to epics that have good mid-range. For example, I've seen comments of people saying if the mid-range is over 85, for example, then go for 699. In fact, I would even go as far as saying maybe over 80. And the epic is also performance tires. Drivetrain doesn't really matter, but mostly performance tires, and mostly I guess cars that were meant for asphalt, meant for the track. So when it comes to maybe BMWs like the X6 or the X3, I would probably still recommend 969. I see a lot of people still upgrading at 969 as well. This is also a new trend to me, so I'm also getting used to it. As you can see here, once again, my Corvette Stingray, it's 969 or 323, and this is a pretty old car of, well, 622 days. And then you have my Corvette Grand Sport, which is pretty new, 127, and I have it at 699. Basic rule of thumb why I chose 699 here is because this is a track-orientated car. The MRA on this thing, oh yeah, and this brings me back to my whole MRA point. So I did see a comment of someone saying, you know, if it's over 85, rule of thumb is to go 699, but I want to take my words back now, because this car does not have good MRA. I think it's like 70 something of the sort. But trust me, it's a lot better 699 because it's really track orientated, and I've actually tested it out against 969 Corvette Grand Sports, and it wins. And I have to be honest, the time differences between 969 and 699 are very, very, very minute. I had this car against, I think, a 969 version Grand Sport, and I think it was karting. It was stop-start dry asphalt, and I think my Grand Sport won by like 0.03 of a second. Like, that is really, really minute, but those 50 points might be really, really important. So with that said, let me show you all my epics real quick. So we'll start off with RQ23. Now when it comes to RQ23 epics, all these maxed RQ23 epics I have, I never really maxed them out when they were epic. If you see one of my RQ23 epics that are maxed out, that is 100% because it used to be an ultra rare and then it got upgraded. So for example, the Range Rover got upgraded. The Patrol Nismo also just got upgraded. we have the Ford Mustang GT, which for a while now has been an epic, but really, really long time ago, it used to be an ultra rare. And when I got this car, 670 days ago, it was an ultra rare. Those were good times, that. And what was really interesting is that this was a car I maxed out a really, really long time ago, and it's in 699 or 233, which is insane. I don't know why I wanted to max this out at 699 back when I started playing the game over 600 days ago. I'm pretty sure I did that just to see how high the handling could go. But it's nice to know that I did that because it works in my favor now. So very nice to have the Mustang GT. I also have another one. Once again, both of these cars I got when they were ultra rare. This one is 2 stars. This was back when I didn't really have a lot of super rares. This was like when I was super new to the game, because this car is pretty old in itself. It's 603. So I remember I tried to max it out, but then I ran out of super rares, and then I updated the game, and then it became an epic. So it's been 18 out of 24 ever since. However, that's not a bad thing, because this car still has helped me in many situations. Mustang GT is a great car. Other RQ23 epics, you know, we're talking XT5s. I got 2 of them, and I have a third one here, which I have locked for some reason. Why do I have this locked? Let's unlock this XT5. I don't think I need 3 of them. Especially since I'm never ever going to max out an RQ23. Guys, honestly, easy rule here is just never max out an RQ23 epic unless it's like super specialist. And that brings me to the Ford Raptor, because the Ford F-150 SVT Raptor was RQ23, I believe, for a really short period of time. Yeah, it was RQ23, just 1 RQ above the Colorado ZR2, and then it got bumped back up to 24. If you got a Ford Raptor, and let's say it used to be RQ23, or you got it when it was RQ23, then I would say, yeah, max it out, because this is a really specialist car, and as far as off-road American cars go, this is the best one. So yes, in really minute cases, then I would say max out a lower RQ epic car, and that's the main reason why I maxed out this SVT Raptor. Although it's not an RQ26, which is, you know, which is like what everybody wants to aim for, max out RQ26 epics or 25. But yeah, even though this car isn't 26 or 25, I would definitely recommend this. I've had this for a very long time. I got it in the same 5 times carbon fiber pack as my BMW M3 GTS. 595 days ago, over 2,300 races, and a win ratio of 76%, which I have to say is very impressive. So, main reason I maxed out the Raptor is because it's a specialist car, and it really is a standout car. I mean, I've had this car for, you know, almost 600 days now, and it has remained the best US off-roader. And because of this Raptor, I won the BMW M4 GTS, which is, that's pretty funny actually. So I got this car when I won the M3 GTS, and this was one of the main cars that helped me win the M4 GTS. Yo, that's weird. Oh, that's funny though. I like that a lot. Another specialist car I would say is the Porsche 911 Carrera RSR 3.0. This is an amazing car. Although it has slick tires, it has amazing stats. 0 to 60 stock, I haven't upgraded, is under 4 seconds. Handling 89, max out will hit 99, and it's just a really good car. It's better than the Carrera S, which is a RQ26 car. So this car gives you a bang for your buck. So if you do have an RSR, I would max it out. A lot of slick tire epics are just really strong. We know we're talking the RSR, we're talking the Magan Trophy, or Magan Trophy. Really good cars. I would definitely invest in them. So what else have I not covered? You know, I have, you know, the Maybach 57. A lot of people have been telling me to keep this because of the amazing MRA. But at the end of the day, guys, I have the Mercedes AMG GTS. And that thing is better MRA, and it's just a better car overall. Yes, it is also like 4 RQ higher, but I just don't think I'll be investing in the 57S, I'm sorry. But one car I have wanted to invest in is the GMC Cyclone, which I did not lock. Now it's locked. It's a really good car. As you can see right now, it is at 336 or 112, whichever way you want to pronounce it. 130 top speed, 4.90 to 60, 83 handling. Guys, if you own this car, I would definitely recommend you to max this baby out, because Hutch being Hutch got the statistics on this car completely wrong. The 0 to 60, I think let's take a look. I think it's 5.2, right? Stock in the game. Let's have a look. Where's GMC? There it is. Yeah, 5.3. In real life, guys, this GMC Cyclone, if I remember correctly, goes 0 to 60 in about 4.5, which is almost a second less. I think 4.5 or 4.4. So when we're talking about a car that has high ground clearance, four-wheel drive capability, standard tires, and if Hutch gets the statistics right and buffs it to 4.40 to 60, we might be looking at an RQ26 or even an RQ27 car. So there is a slight possibility that this car might become legendary. However, don't take my word for it, because they could do what they did with the Audis and make RQ30 or RQ27 epics, you know, all that kind of crap. But yeah, definitely invest in the Cyclone. It's a really good car, and the MRA of it is pretty decent, considering it doesn't really have a high top speed. So let's get back to all my epics. So we were talking about the GMC Cyclone, which I think is a great car, and it is slightly better than the Typhoon as well. So if you do have the Typhoon, I am sorry. If you're thinking about investing in the Typhoon, I would say no. Just wait till you get a Cyclone. It will be worth the wait. Cyclone's a great car. We talked about the RSR, we talked about the Raptor. My Scat Pack, once again, guys, the Scat Pack is pretty underwhelming. And, you know, that's a huge shout coming from someone like me that loves Dodge so much. I love the Scat Pack, guys, but when it comes to top drives, we have to see the, I guess, the competitors that it's in. So one of the competitors that it's with is just Dodge in itself. This is the weakest Dodge epic. The MRA on this bad boy isn't even that good. I think it's around the 70s, which I guess if you compare it to maybe other RQ24 epics, it's average. But when you compare it to Dodge, it's really weak, and the Hellcats are just much, much better. Now, if you want to compare this car to other RQ24 epics, then yes, it is pretty decent. I would say the 0 to 60 really takes the cake. But the handling is pretty weak on this car, and once again, low ground clearance. Another car I maxed out, this one, Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 from 2015, 3.60 to 60, 95 handling, and a top speed of 193. I have this car maxed out 969. If you guys don't know, I maxed this baby out literally because I wanted to win the Demon. I maxed out 2 epics for the Demon event, which just really showed how much I wanted it. One was the ZL1 convertible, and the other one was the ZL1 hardtop, which we will get to in a bit. This car actually is really surprisingly good. As you can see here, win ratio of over 80%, and total races just a little over 300, so not a lot of races, but this car really gets the job done. Another really good thing about this car is that it carries a lot of tags with it, so it will be useful in many niche events, right? It has the American Dream tag, the muscle car tag, has the 2010 tag, the convertible tag. So yeah, it's a pretty all-round great car. 95 handling, 3.60 to 60. MRA on this bad boy, not too bad. I think it's around the 80 range. But yeah, this is actually a very good car. I would recommend, if you have it, max it out, especially if you have nothing else to work on. Another one here, I have the 7420. This is a car I won from, I think it was Tier 1. From one of the qualifiers. Obviously, I don't get Tier 1 in qualifiers anymore because everybody likes to target me, which is annoying. Another one here, BMW 335D. Much like the Mustangs, this was a car that I had in the ultra rare range. If you guys remember, this used to be RQ21, and it used to be rear wheel drive, and then Hutch was like, oh, we made a mistake, this car is actually 4-wheel drive. So they changed the drivetrain, 4-wheel drive, and it made it a epic RQ24 because it's also medium ground clearance. It's honestly a decent car. 3.80 to 60 is impressive. 87 handling is, it's okay. It's not the best, but I mean, medium ground clearance and 4-wheel drive, so we'll give it some slack there. But what really makes this car pretty underwhelming is that it does have pretty bad MRA. But besides that, it's a good city streets car, and it's a good car for the rain or rain in city streets. So it does have, I guess, some use, but I wouldn't really recommend focusing on maxing this car out. But if you had it as an ultra rare and it became an epic, I do hope you locked and keep it, because if you sold it, and you got it again, I guarantee you wouldn't be maxing it out anytime soon. So let's see what else we got. We have the BMW M5, which I got a long time ago. It is now 123 days old. So this car is over 100 days old, over 120 days old. Can you guess how many races I have done in this BMW M5? You had your guess? All right, let's see. A 0. Never used it. Never used it. This car is fused to me, but also I like the BMW M5. And to be honest, this car has really good MRA. I think it's around the 89 to 91 range. Like, it's one of the best for BMW. It's a drag car as well. So honestly, if I max it out, I'll probably do 996 or 332. Let me know what you would do to the M5. Because it also does have medium ground clearance. So you could do 699 for a city street kind of thing. But yeah, this is really just, to me, it looks like a drag car. And I am a huge fan of the BMW M5, so although it's fused material, it's the last epic I would decide to fuse, if that makes sense, because I like it. Other cars I have is the Porsche 911 GT3 RS. Once again, it's not a car I'm going to max out anytime soon. It's just my favorite GT3 RS of all time. If you guys don't know, I love the fried egg headlights. I love the Porsche 996 body style. I think it's beautiful, and I love how you could only get this car in one color scheme, which is the white with the red GT3 RS decals on it. It's also driver's choice, but once again, I'm not going to invest in this anytime soon. If I do max it out though, it'll be 699, and it'll probably hit 98 handling, fingers crossed, if not 97, which is still very strong. Moving on, Boxster S. Had this for a very long time. We're talking like, I think this car is older than the 918. It's not really particularly impressive. It has good 0 to 60, and it has potential to be really good if you max it out. But yeah, I have no time, no resources for that. One car I have wanted to max out, however, is the Mercedes-AMG C63. This one has an MRA of 89. The handling is okay, it's 88, but as you can see, I have a little fuse in the handling, so maxed out, it'll probably hit about 91 or 92. The 0 to 60 is actually quite strong at 3.8. I feel like if I max out the weight, it might go to 3.5 maybe. And then what really takes the cake with this, besides the amazing MRA, is that the AMG C63 has medium ground clearance. Where is it? Yeah, medium ground clearance. So this is a great car, especially when you think about it. Mercedes doesn't have a lot of cars that has good grip or good handling plus medium ground clearance. When you think about other Mercedes, like the ML63 over here, yes, it has high ground clearance, but it also has really bad MRA. But then it has good 0 to 60, but then it has horrendous handling. To be honest, this is a trash epic. Honestly, I wish I never put any upgrades into it. I would have fused it if I knew how bad it was. In fact, when it comes to off-road events, like off-road events maybe in the daily challenges, I don't even use the AMG ML63. I'd rather use the Mercedes G63, and I use my other off-road pickup trucks like my GMC Sierra All-Terrain, my Colorado ZR2, and as I said earlier, the Ford Raptor. Honestly, the ML63 is just not worth it. If you have it, just fuse it, guys. It's not a good car, in my opinion. Moving on, we have the Jaguar F-Pace. Once again, another mistake that I have made. Would have never put upgrades into it. I barely ever use it, only for UK events, and that's about it. However, I have to say the stats on this car, it's overall pretty impressive. 5.5, 80 handling. It's impressive. I think it has pretty good MRA too. I got two Mustang Boss 302s. I love this car. Maxed it out, it'll be 94 handling, 93. It's a great car, medium ground clearance as well. The only reason why I haven't put any fuses or upgrades or investments in this car is because right now it has medium ground clearance, which is why everybody likes it, because it's a good Ford with medium ground clearance. Like, I think the only other good Ford with medium ground clearance is the Ford Escort Rally Spec RQ22. The only problem is I'm scared that this Boss 302 might get nerfed to low ground clearance, kind of like the RS6. Now, off the top of my head, I don't know if this car is above or under 120 millimeters, or I don't know. I've heard so many different stories now. Hutch, in the Top Drives episode, they were talking about 137, and then they changed it to 120. They didn't change it. I heard it from someone in the forum saying they changed it to 120. So I don't know if it's 137 or 120 now. But if it's 120, then this car might stay medium. But if it's 137, this car is definitely getting nerfed. So I'll wait till the next update, see the changes, and yeah, if this car is safe, then I'll start thinking about investing into it. So, moving on, the other Camaro ZL1 is another epic I want to talk about. This car is actually very, very impressive. 3.30 to 6095 handling. Honestly, I would have upgraded it 699. Now I know that it's the better option. Oh, one thing I need to say is that 699 is only good for dry asphalt. When it comes to wet asphalt, you want to stick to 969. So the pros and cons to everything, really. So at the end of the day, it's really down to what kind of tracks you want your Epic to go on to. I would recommend 699 now, though, since it's a trend and everyone's going to do it. So, you know, even if you're in the rain, since it's a trend, all the Epics you're going to see is 699. So it's going to be a draw anyway. That's kind of my 2 cents. But yeah, this was the other Camaro ZL1 I maxed out for the Demon Finals. Did me very, very well. However, it's not as good as the Z28 still. Z28 is still a little better. This one is my first ever Z28 from the campaign, and I did 996. And when I got it from the campaign, remember, the Z28 used to be medium ground clearance. Then it got nerfed. And it used to be RQ26. 707 days, 2,000 races, win ratio of 80%. This is a good car. This is an OG Epic. This is like the first Epic I've maxed. This is the first Epic I maxed out. One of the first Epics I've gotten in the game. Great car. And here's the other one that I use more often. I got this Camaro in the in a Chevrolet pack. This was a long time ago, back in the Stingray finals. Not the Stingray finals, the C7 finals, sorry. Well, I guess it's a Stingray, right? And this one is 969. So imagine if I got a third Z28 and I did it 699. I mean, honestly, I have a lot of maxed out Chevrolets already. I have like 6 or 7, so might as well, right? But yeah, Z28 is a little better than the ZL1. It was funny, I actually tested these two cars recently. The ZL1 is better in a quarter mile, but the Z28 is better in a 1 mile. I don't know which car is better in a half mile. I think the ZL1 is better in a half mile. But when it comes to anything twisty, karting, slalom, the Z28 takes the cake. And yeah, I remember I was actually talking to one of my friends on Instagram because of that. Another car that I've really, really loved and has been honestly one of the most channel loved, or I guess the most dear cars in my garage. This is up there with the Chevy Tahoe Custom, is the BMW 740D. You know, before German Renaissance, a lot of you guys would know the 740D used to be the best standard tire car in the game. This was before the Cadillac 16. This was before the new BMWs that came in the German Renaissance. This was one of the best cars. It was this and the Cadillac CT6, which I still don't have. This was actually the first Epic I ever got from a ceramic as well, and I'm really, really happy to have it. Medium ground clearance, standard tires, 4-wheel drive, decent handling, but very, very strong 0 to 60 for a standard tire car. 740D is honestly a great investment. However, there are better BMW standard tire cars out there now. So if you do get the RQ26 version, which I think is the 7 series, I'm not sure, then max that out instead. But this is always a good alternative. This is always a great car, always will be, and I really love it. Here is another one, the Porsche 911 Turbo. I've had this for 241 days, 326 races, win ratio of 67%. Guys, with a heavy heart, I have to say, as much as I love this car in real life, and as much as I love that picture, even though I think it's too zoomed in, this is one of the most underwhelming cars I've invested in. This 911 Turbo, I used it in a Porsche final one time, and it lost to everything. It really did. It's just a really underwhelming car. I have the handling maxed out. It tops out at 94. I mean, compared to other Porsches, 94 is nothing. Other Porsches, you know, as you saw of the GT3, it hits 99, 97. This car doesn't. I mean, yes, it has 4-wheel drive, but at the end of the day, that means you can only really use it for a 90s event or rainy tracks. But then, at that point, just use standard tires. It's just a really underwhelming car. I don't think the MRA on this thing is really good, and it's just been really hard for me to max this out. I don't want to max it out, but I don't want to sell it as well because I've already invested in it. It's a dilemma. So let's move on. 911 Turbo was a disappointment for me. What wasn't a disappointment though was the Porsche 911 Carrera S. 3.40 to 60, 200 top speed and 99 handling. Great car. Had it for 453 days. This was the car that helped me win the 918. Almost 2,600 races with a win ratio of 78%. This was a great car. This was my daily challenge or my daily event car for the longest time. I got this really early in the game and it's stuck with me ever since. It's up there with the Z28 Camaro for all I care. It's a great car, the Carrera S, but it's not as good as the RSR when it comes to dry asphalt. But if it is wet asphalt, then you can count on that Carrera S. Moving on, another epic, the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo MRFQ360. Really long name. Evo 9. This is an amazing car. This was also part of my daily event deck. In fact, almost about 2 years ago now, if you watch CMG back in the day when he just started playing Top Drives, he had this series. It was a 2-episode series which he ended really quickly, and it was basically him judging people's decks. And my deck was featured on the first episode, I believe. I think it was the first episode. Yeah, it was the first episode. It was the last deck that we talked about. And this car was in my daily event deck, which just shows how old it is. 652 days, 2,678 races, and a win ratio of 85. 85. This car is really good. It has basically everything you want in just an all-rounder versatile car. 4-wheel drive, medium ground clearance, 0 to 60 of 3.3, which is mad. Handling of 96, which is very strong, and it comes with a lot of tags. 2000 car, street racer, motorsport, seat count of 5, saloon. I mean, these are all tags that we've seen before and tags we will see again. If you get this car, I would definitely recommend you to max this out, but not like how I did it. Max it out 699, and this car will go up to 97 handling. Really good car. Other cars that I've gotten recently, which I really wanted to max out, is, AMG GT. But then again, Hellcat's better. Got the AMG A45, it's a decent car too. We have the 211, which is a great car, and I'm gonna speed it up a bit because I feel like this video is getting pretty long. So I have, my 5 Hellcats, my Hellcats army. You know how I feel about the Hellcats already. Great drag car if you ever get it, 996, but if you get if you get the wide body, do it 699, because that car has more grip or handling, and it goes up to 94. Next is the Corvette Z06. This is a car I'm thinking about maxing out just because the finals for the CTR3 is going to be US 2000s. So I don't know what the track stats are yet, but if I don't get the Lingenfelter, this is the second best car to get. So might max it out. Another Corvette that's really good, as I said, I have a lot of maxed out Chevrolets. I have the Corvette Stingray Z51, which is a very old car. I think I got this on Christmas 2015. Owned it 622 days. You can do the math if it was Christmas 622 days ago. 651 races, 83% win ratio. It's a great car. Once again, Corvette Grand Sport, amazing. BMW M4 is the epic that I've maxed out the fastest. I maxed this out in a day. 3.30 to 60, 94 handling, medium ground clearance. That's what really takes the cake there. Honestly, really should have done it 699 though. But, what can you do? Moving on, I will upgrade most of my epics 699 now. M3 GTS, this one is 699, 3.50 to 60, 98 handling, and medium ground clearance. Really good car. And then we'll finish off with the Audis. We got 4 really good Audis: RS3, RS7, RS6, and the S8 Plus. Obviously, I maxed the RS7 and RS6 for 2 obvious reasons. It used to be medium. But obviously now it's not, so the S8 is king. However, the S8 has to wait because I might need to max out my Corvette Z06 first, or another car I've wanted to max out in forever, the BMW M3 CS. This car is good MRA, really good handling, 3.70 to 60. It's a very strong car, and in my opinion, one of the best epic BMWs in the game. And with that said, I think we'll end up with the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo FQ400, the car that I upgraded the wrong way, 969. But that was it. Those are all my epics that I have currently, and hopefully I will get some really important epics soon in the future. I'm talking CD6, I'm talking wide body, obviously, super light, Furai as well, and even the banana car. So hopefully we'll get those somewhere down the line, but I am really happy with the selection of cars I got. As you can see, a lot of German a lot of American, a lot of BMWs, and a lot of Chevrolets. Anyway, hope you guys have a great day. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and have a great day. Blossom out.